What's up, everybody? Joe White here, and I am parked today in near Mount Airy, North Carolina. North Carolina. And ooh, what a day it's been. Hold on. There we go. All right. Jeez. I got to stop early today, and man, am I paying for it. I'm tired. I got to take a nap today too. That's what kills me. But anyway, heading down to Georgia tomorrow. And I posted a video earlier about the trailer and about how they're going to split the trailer up into over 3 different weeks over this Avatar movie for Avengers Doomsday. And I got to tell you guys, I don't think that's a good idea. I'm not going to go see Avatar 3 times. I just watched the first one today because my kid wants to go see the third one um, in theaters over Christmas. And every year, it is tradition in my family that we go see a movie at an Alamo Draft House on Christmas. That is our Christmas dinner. We do dinner and a movie on Christmas Day. Um, this year though, it's going to be different because we're going to go do lunch on Christmas Day at the Alamo, and then we're going to come home and watch Stranger Things. Oh man, I can't wait for Christmas. Christmas, don't be late, as the chipmunks sing. Um, But now breaking over like the last 24 hours, or actually 12 hours, it is a rumor that Avengers Doomsday is going to be a direct sequel to Avengers Endgame. And to add more fuel to this, to add more fuel to the fire, so to speak, they are re releasing Avengers Endgame, which is the end of the Infinity Saga. They are re releasing Avengers Endgame in theaters. Sorry, guys. I'll say it again. They are re releasing Avengers Endgame in theaters September of next year to get everybody hyped up for Doomsday. So I have a few things to say about this, but before I give my thoughts on all this, our old buddy Michael Roman of the Everything Always channel, the ever the Marvel apologist, this guy. Listen to what his thoughts are about this and about how this is not Marvel's way of admitting that, yeah, we screwed up and we had to get the Russo brothers in to play damage control. But listen to what Michael Roman of Everything Always has to say about this.
Going to be those in our corner of YouTube who take this as a sign that Marvel Studios is admitting that the multiverse saga wasn't any good and that fans didn't like the characters, so they have to go back to the end of the Infinity Saga and those characters to get everybody excited again. And I guess you could say the same thing with Marvel Studios deciding to bring back Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom if you want to see it that way. I sincerely don't. I see it as them using an opportunity in a change from Kang to Doctor Doom, where it wasn't an ideal situation in the first place, and they had spent a lot of lead up on a different villain than they actually wanted to use for Secret Wars, going back and making the stakes even higher for Doomsday in the Multiverse Saga by tying it to the Infinity Saga's end. It makes them not two separate sagas, but really one long running story where the stakes were being established along the way in what we thought was the conclusion to one saga, but just really tied to the end of this saga. It makes it one long, huge story. That is awesome. To me, that's not them saying, hey, our multiverse characters aren't that interesting. No, we want those characters involved. They certainly are interesting. Yeah, Marvel Studios fell down along the way, maybe in the way they handled them. We should have seen Shang-Chi at this point at least 4 or 5 times. Same with Captain America. We should have seen them so many more times in the MCU involved in the storylines. Water under the bridge. Now that they've got this opportunity to do this, it's actually not surprising at all that they want to take the stakes from Infinity War and Endgame and roll them in to what's going on with Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. But
Oh, we love these characters. We love the new characters. We just love America Chavez. We loved She-Hulk. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Even John Campea, who is the ultimate I never say anything negative guy, unless it involves Donald Trump, of course. I mean, which there's plenty negative to say about Donald Trump, don't get me wrong, but you know, even John Campea came out and said that She-Hulk was trash. Even John Campea has came out and said that there are very few winners in this multiverse saga. And the whole thing with Kang, yes, that was kind of like a blessing in disguise, because what Michael Roman fails to realize is that if, the guy playing Kang, Jonathan Majors, had not gotten in trouble like he did when he did, they would have gone full bore with what they were planning to do, which was the Kang dynasty and all that. They would have gone full bore. They would not have hired the Russo brothers. They would not have listened to the fans. They would have just gone chugging along like they were going to, with their big bad woke selves. I don't see this as them doing that. I see this as a way of making these other characters actually mean something. Dude, come on. Can't you admit for once that they screwed up? Can't you admit for once that this whole multiverse saga, aside for a few scenes here and there, has been one total screw up? Can't you admit that, yes, the scenes we did get, like the Illuminati scene in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Yes, that's cool. It was cool to see, and yes, you're sitting there going, yeah, 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 Professor X, Illuminati, Daggone, what's his face as Doctor is Mr. Fantastic. We got what they gave us, what we wanted. And then after the adrenaline settles down and the short little spurt of fanboydom wears off, you realize, wait a minute, we're never going to see these characters again. They're variants. They're variants. They mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. They screwed this up. My wife, for crying out loud. Her and I's first date was at the Eden Drive-In in Eden, North Carolina. Our first date. And we saw the Avengers. And we've been hooked ever since. I went back and showed her all the other ones leading up to it. And we were hooked. And I've dragged her to every gosh darn one to her credit. And she was actually a fan of them until this multiverse thing started. And now whenever we go see ever since Endgame, every time we go see a damn Marvel movie, she's like, "Is this multiverse?" And if I tell her yes, she groans. Ugh, I can't stand the multiverse. That's her exact words. So, when my son told me today that, oh, this is going to be a direct sequel, I didn't believe him. I was like, oh yeah, they're planning to reset everything, and it's supposed to tie into it, but I didn't realize they were going to make this a direct sequel. And I see this as a way of them going, yeah, we screwed up. We screwed up, we know it. And however, it does kind of give me buyer's remorse, I guess you could say, because everything that I've paid my hard-earned money to see since this multiverse saga started, with maybe the exception of the Doctor Strange sequel, WandaVision, um, let's see, what else? WandaVision, the Doctor Strange sequel, and the Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man No Way Home. Those three movies. Everything else has just been, oh yeah, you wasted your money. You wasted your money. And if this means they can right the wrong and straighten the ship out, I'm all for it. Okay, fine. Okay. Why? As he said in that water under the bridge. No, it's not water under the bridge, really. You still got to admit you fucked up. You got to admit to the fans, okay, we made a mistake and now we're going to correct it. Of course, they're not going to come out and say it directly, but can we get a little hint? Can we get a lifeline? Can we get a little thing saying, "Yeah, we heard you," and that just go watch this. We heard you. Just give us one more chance. Because to the best of my knowledge, we got Spider-Man next year. They're re-releasing Endgame, and then they're doing Doomsday. And then we got Wonder Man coming up, which nobody cares about Wonder Man at all. Even though it's got Ben Kingsley, I think his name is, the guy who played the fake Mandarin in Iron Man 3. The actor guy with the beer and the chicks and all that, he's back. Which he had a small part in Shang-Chi. So maybe we could see Shang-Chi tie into Wonder Man. But nobody really gives a shit about this Wonder Man series. No one's talking about it. It's just another multiversal dud. But to have this guy, Michael Roman, once again, water under the bridge. Everything's fine, Marvel. I get what you're doing. I'm a big fan of this. Go ahead and send me my ticket for my premiere. Fly me out there first class, if you will. And by the way, just send me my ticket, and I'll get my tux nice and rented, so I can take nice, pretty pictures of myself with all the stars on the red carpet. I'll get to walk the red carpet. In fact, it's okay as long as I get my access. Give me a break, dude. Give me a break and finally admit that they screwed up. And that the Jonathan Majors thing, even though that turned out to be utter bullshit, he was never convicted of anything. Again, they shot first and asked questions later, as the woke mob tends to do. You know, they shot first, asked questions later. It's just, they were like, Russo's, Robert RDJ, only you guys could fix this. Chris Evans, you got to come back. Only you could fix this. Nobody believes in the black Captain America. And it's not the fact that he's black, it's the way it's written. It's the way it's written. Nobody buys this guy as Captain America. It should have been Bucky. It should have been Bucky. Anyway, I'm going to go I'm now ranting and raving here, but bottom line is Michael Roman, I'm calling you out, bud. I'm pulling your punk card. Respond to this if you want to. Yes, I know I'm a measly little shitty YouTuber with less than 1,000 subs, less than 500 subs. I don't even know how many subs I have. I don't care. I do this for a hobby. I do this as an outlet. I challenge you to respond to this. Why are you such a Marvel apologist? Is it because you're scared of losing your precious access? Hey, fans, let me know about this in the comments below. What is your take on all this? We'll see you down the road.
Is that the American dream?
That's the American dream.
What?
An ass like you.